Hello everybody, my name is Tastic. It's been a while since I've posted something. I made a Twitter post recently saying that I would draw your OCs. I didn't say how many I was going to draw, which is on my... I'm going to say my bad on that. I'm going to do 5 for you. That's right, 5. My hands are cramping so hard. So I wanted to do this because I feel kind of bad about not posting as much. I was out of town recently. I visited my dad. Shout out to my dad. I love you. But it also gives me an incentive to start drawing again. I've been inside of kind of a burnout stage. And I really needed some sort of creative, whatever. I needed that creativity back. And I thought, what better thing to do than to ask other creative people for their help. Now, as you can see, I've been overwhelmed with the amount of replies that I got. I did not expect this many replies to this post. And it's just so fascinating to me how creative this community is as a whole. So shout out to all of you for being brave and showing me your OCs, showing me your art skills. I couldn't be more proud of all of you for allowing me to draw your characters and to express my creative ideas with you and how I interpret your OCs. I'm going to put a little disclaimer here for the 5 people that I did do their OCs of. If there is a detail or misconception that I did wrong about your character, I apologize in advance. One that I chose was the first one that I'm going to show you because I wanted to do this character for a long time. Shout out to my homeboy, the Kooky Clowns. They're pretty awesome. I love their art style, and they just recently made their own self-insert clown, and I absolutely love it, and I wanted to draw it for a long time. So here we go. I wanted to keep the facial structure very sharp. I don't normally keep chins very sharp unless it's for villainous characters, or even Tastic has a bit of a sharp chin. I tend to do a little bit of inconsistency details. I'm trying to work on that. I had this pose in mind for a while, ever since I saw this character. Each pose that I'm drawing each character in, I've had in mind. The instant I saw these characters, I knew exactly what pose I wanted to put them in. I drew the outline of the ears, and these ears are pretty big. I tried to do proportionate size, and then I also thought the earring would be cuter on one ear. I assumed it would be on one ear. I didn't put splatter on both ears. And I wanted the hair to be not super thick, but fluffy enough. And then, of course, I can't forget the kitty. I cannot forget the cute little cat in the corner. How could I not draw this cat? I'm not one for drawing cats. Skibbles is one of my own characters, and as you can tell, I mean, he's just a ball. He's literally a ball, and that's because I can't draw cats. But since this was just like the top body part of it, it wasn't too big of a deal. I didn't mind doing that. The circles on the vest are really big in comparison to the head size. I didn't want to make them too tiny, so they're relatively large circles. I love drawing capes. Capes are really cool. They're really fun to draw. It gives that kind of depth that you wouldn't really get with anything else. And I'm just checking to make sure I have all the details sketched out before moving on to the line art. Now, what I do here, I do something a little different, and I decide to I make a middle line point that I want, and then I use a brush that Fire Alpaca has called the symmetry brush, so that it allows me to draw the same on both sides. And I'm so happy I did this. Most of the time I draw one side and then copy it, paste it, rotate it, and then it looks weird. I decide to only do a couple things with the symmetry brush. I don't do all things with the symmetry brush. As you can see, I tried doing the eyes and the nose, and it just looked really weird with the symmetry brush, so I just didn't do it. I did the body of the cat, and the only problem with the symmetry brush is that if you overlap lines, you have to erase them individually on the different sides. I love this cat. I freaking love this cat. And then I also realized that I drew the nose wrong, so I changed it to the triangle. I think the mouth turned out really well. I tried doing a middle part here, but it did not look very good, so I passed on that. Me fixing up the dirty line work a little bit, see what I mean? I have to individually erase each individual one, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Here's me checking to see what fucking color it is. Because the image is a little blurry, and I was like, oh, is it this green or is it that green? So I went with this green, the same color as the eyes. The whiskers, I wanted to, I realized I had like a little curl at the end, and I drew them a little too straight. And then here I am doing the copy paste and then adjusting it trick. And thick eyebrows, I'm used to drawing thick eyebrows. Tastic, one of his most iconic parts of him is that he has thick eyebrows. Eyebrows are really helpful with expressing. I think eyebrows are one of the most important character aspects that you can have to show expression. That's my personal opinion. I had to make up some parts here just so that it would, he wouldn't look like he was balding in some spots. And I love the little tuft. I love floating tufts. Do they make sense? No. Are they cute? Yeah. So it doesn't matter, does it? Erasing the eyes here, just because the hair is in front of the eyes and I don't want the eyes to show. I did the symmetry brush again for the teeth, and then I added that extra tooth on the side. Because I wanted the asymmetry put in there. And then I did an eyeball, and I did a copy-paste with that again because I don't feel like drawing circles twice. And then I'm lining up the eye so that it looks like he's actually looking at us and not cross-eyed. At least not super cross-eyed. I still want to keep a silly aspect. I don't want him to look scary. I want him to look silly because he's a silly little clown. He's a silly little guy with a silly little cat. We all love the silly little cat. And then I make sure that I get the pumpkin, or whatever it is, right. And I think I did a really good job. I like how it turned out. It's really cute. And I'm onto the bow. And I use a symmetry brush again for a little bit. And in a minute, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to be like, that fucking sucks. So I stick with one side, and then I don't do the lines in the middle. I just use that as like a base. I do the copy flip. I have it on the other side, and then I add little strands on the bottom. And then I make the bow a little bigger for the cat, and the bobble on the bottom is a little smaller. Here I am making sure the line work is in order and that nothing's overlapping, and I'm moving on to the color. Now what I'm doing here is I'm filling in everything with a solid color. And I do this because I can make sure that there's no holes in my coloring, make sure all the nooks and crannies, that all of them get covered completely so that I'm not missing anything and that it looks awkward. And there's a setting on Fire Alpaca that you can, and you see the little checkbox in the corner to keep it in that shape, so I can literally scribble all over it and it won't go outside of the lines, which is why I do it. It's just an easy method for me, and I really like doing it. Here's where I'm a fucking idiot, and I start erasing the circles that I made, although I realized I'm literally going to color over those spots anyway, so I stopped doing that. Man, I'm talking so much I'm forgetting to breathe. Hello? There I am erasing the fucking dots again. Come on, Hat. Stupid. So, I miss a color of a dot here, but I promise I take care of it later. I promise. Trust me, it's bothering me too. So I'm coloring the eyes, I color in the kitty. I love the colors The color scheme for this are greens and purples, and I love these two colors together. They just look so cool. It really pops out, it makes everything stick out, and the orange accents are really the killers here. I think that all just looks great together. Here I am making sure that I'm selecting the bow area, and then I'm making those patterns on there, and I'm really picky about this pattern. Again, I'm a perfectionist. It's a blessing and a curse, because sometimes I take way too long. Trust me, a lot of this stuff is this is sped up at 600%, and a lot of it is cut out because I have to pause and redo a lot of things. So sorry I had to ruin all of your fun with the fucking 12 plus hours of art of where I do fucking nothing. Here is where I do my creative liberty. I wanted to give a little bit of the depth to the eyes. My art style, I have a pupil in the middle of the eyes all the time, and I didn't want it to be just a normal black. And then the tongue I colored green, just because of that color contrast. You're going to see later I'm going to change the color of the tongue, just because it looked better than the green. And I'm also adding the face paint because I forgot the face paint, because I always forget one little thing. I love how this face paint turned out. I think it looks really cute, and I want to do it on my own face. It's really adorable, and it's like, I want that. Why can't I look that cute all the time? Ugh. And then I add the spider back because I almost forgot that too. Yeah. So making sure I have all the details right. I use the background colors that were provided. I get a little gradient, and then I add a little bit of a tree background. This is the only character that I gave this kind of background, just because it's what I envisioned in my head. The rest of the characters are going to just have regular backgrounds, so. So here's the finished product. I love him. I think he's absolutely adorable. We're going to move on to drawing number 2. Up next, we have this cutie patootie. I'm going to call him a dust ball because I don't know what honestly, he looks more like an urchin now that I'm looking at him, like a sea urchin. It's by Ryan X 2003. Thank you so much for giving me your character, and I hope you like what I did with him. So on the bottom, I have references. References are always a good tool to have. I wanted him to be sitting down and holding this cup of coffee because he's just that distinguished of a gentleman. The only problem that I had was that he's a ball. He does not have an ass. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. Honestly, I'm a little bit biased with this one because it was quite a challenge, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So he might personally be my favorite out of the bunch. So I gave him a little top hat. I'm really used to drawing top hats. I draw them all the time. I'm finishing drawing the cup of coffee from my reference right there. References are always a good tool. Never be afraid to look up references. Use them, use them, use them. I can never stress them enough. And then you're going to see me here for a minute trying to pick where I should put these hands since they're a floating pair of hands. I had to sacrifice a detail, and I really didn't want to do that. I was like, how can I place all this here without sacrificing a detail? But in the end, it just looked nicer in this position, and I had to sacrifice the detailing of the gloves, which is a damn shame because I like the gloves. Now, I love these shoes. And just the way that he's positioned, he just looks like a sassy Pac-Man right now. I was drawing him, and I get to his face, and I'm like, oh my god, he's so sassy. He's just my sassy little urchin. He's my sassy little dust bunny. Whatever he is. But I adore him. And then I also gave him eyebrows because I know that the reference does not have eyebrows, but like I said before, I think eyebrows are the most important part. And here's where I'm counting the spines, hair, something, just to see what the pattern is. And it was a little inconsistent on the drawing, but I decided to go with the big, small pattern. and I was just making sure I had the details, and the only detail I was missing was the cane. So I'm having him sit on his cane, and literally the only reason why he's sitting on his cane is because I didn't feel like drawing a stool. I really just did not want to draw a stool for him to sit on, or a chair. I didn't feel like drawing either of those. So I was like, you know what? He's just going to be sitting right on the cane. You know, he's his balancing act. This shows how coordinated he is. This shows how cool he is. He can balance on his cane and use it as a chair. That's how not only lightweight he is, but how coordinated he is and how well balanced he is. And honestly, there could be an earthquake and he wouldn't spill a drop of his tea. Because you know that shit's tea. You know that ain't coffee. That shit's fucking tea. It's like, spill the tea, sis. Working on the line work. I also like this character because there's not a lot of detail going on, but there's just enough to know the personality of this character. I don't know the actual personality of this character. I kind of gave him the this nice sassy British man, kind of like Dr. House in House. Like I see him with that kind of attitude where it's like he knows everything and you know nothing. And I've never actually drawn a pair of hands holding a cup before, at least not that I can remember. I might have a sample out there or something, but it's just really cool. And then here I adjust the leg a little just because the legs looked a little inconsistent and I wanted to fix that. I'm really bad with depth perception, and I'm also just bad with drawing things being held in general, and especially objects. Objects are hard for me. I noticed that it's like a square bottom on his shoes, so I kept that. I'm not sure what kind of shoes these are. It's like a 1-2 buckle my shoe looking I still like them a lot. I like the shoe design. I'd be like, can I have these shoes? Do I want these shoes? Kinda. Do I even know how they would work in the real world? No. But do I still want them? Yeah. So my method of doing a straight line is I cross the lines over and then I just erase them until they turn into one smoothless line. My method to my madness. I love this cane design also. This is a really cool cane design. It definitely, I made it look comfortable to sit on. It's like I want to sit on it. This must be a thick-ass cane. And then here I am drawing the I'm just gonna call it hair. I'm just gonna call it hair. Just for my own sanity. So I'm drawing the hair, and damn, is he looking dapper? And here I am doing my fill tool method again. Just make sure I fill all those cracks. And here I deleted the line work, and I'm making sure that it all blends in smoothly together. Again, we don't want any blemishes, because if there are, nobody else will notice them but me, and I'll be upset. I added the whites to his eyes. I made sure not to overlap them. And then I made the coffee cup like a more dirtier white just to contrast with his gloves. And then I give the hair a bit of a gray gradient because in the original photo, the spines are gray. He's in a gray outline, and I wanted to incorporate that in the hair. And I think it gave it that just enough of that contrast. And then I gave him like a nice, like a papery, classic background. Like classic cartoons, just because he reminded me of those. And yeah, I added my watermark, and he is done. I think he looks great. Again, probably one of my favorites, if not my most favorite. Shout out to Ryan X for this character, and I hope you like him. This next character I'm drawing is from JoJo Gamer 124. This really nice, sexy demon lady. I asked my boyfriend why he chose her, and it's like, well, isn't it fucking obvious? It's right there in my face! I'm not one for characters that are a solid, like a single color, but this was a lot of fun to try and not only keep that single color palette and keep it as close to the reference as possible, but to also make sure that the line work did not mash in with it and get lost. Making the base outline, here's another reference on the side. I like this reference. I wanted her to be like powerful. I imagine her as being the like the 50-foot woman. Like, she is huge, because if you look at the top of her head, her horns are huge. They're so huge they don't even fit in the whole picture, and I have to guess what they look like at the top. So I'm sharpening up her nails because she has sharp nails. I mean, what demon doesn't have sharp nails except for me? Sad face. I always clip my nails super short. I don't like them when they're too long. And I'm also being perfectionist with this line work. Hurry the fuck up! Here I'm deciding on the nose shape. I decided to make her nose pointy. Just because I think it looked better than a round nose. She just seemed like a sharp kind of character. And sharp characters need sharp noses because they have sharp details. My guess for what the top of it looked like was I wanted it to be like a distinct heart shape because I wanted hearts to be kind of the main theme because of the background. Hair's probably my favorite part. And then I realized she has wings, and I'm like, oh shit. So I add the wings. And then I draw the little heart for the boob window. And the top is a little bit too small, so like she's got a little bit of under boob as well. We all like that, don't we? Don't we, gents? So I'm fixing the heart so it looks a little more proportional with the angle that she's at. And then here's where I decide to make her smile a little smaller. I thought the smile was a little too big. I wanted her to be more of like a sassy, like a flirty kind of smile and not a demented smile. I'm adding piercings here, but then I don't draw them later and I completely forget about them. She didn't have piercings in the first place, but I thought she'd look cute with piercings, and then I just completely changed my mind. I changed the design of the panties a little bit, just because I like the crescent on the top instead of underneath it. I think the crescent definitely makes it look better. And then here I am going into outline. I love the thick eyelashes. I love thick eyelashes. I don't draw them enough, but I absolutely love them. I love thick eyelashes. I made the nose just a teensy bit smaller, but I kept it sharp. I was decisive on lips, like if I wanted to give her like luscious lips, then I decided against it. Just because the main reference didn't really have that as an attribute, so I skipped it. And then I did my copy, paste, flip technique, just so they looked the same and lined up to make that heart shape. I used the hair to cover up how it's connected, because how the fuck are these connected? It doesn't matter, who cares? I care. I care about the smallest detail that nobody else cares about. And you know what? If I don't care about it, who will? Nobody. And then I put the eyes in immediately, just because they were different than the normal outline that I do, because they're not black color. And then instead of circles for the whites, I decided to do slits, just because I think slits make it look like sexier, you know, like a demon. I move on to the clothes. So I'm doing the arms first, just because arms are a pain in the ass to draw. Moving on to the legs. Making sure that the legs look nice without the line art. The line art can totally screw up what your main piece looks like, so make sure to either trim it way down or turn it off completely, your sketch layer, so that you can see what the final layer looks like, so that when you turn off your sketch layer, it doesn't look super weird. That's what I've learned. We all love titties here, don't we, gents? Don't we, gentlemen? Keep your composure. I take breaks in between this, just because either I needed to do something where I was eating, or I'm playing my stupid fucking game. Shout out to my Identity 5 players. If you want me to make gameplay of that, smash the like button. If you don't want me to play that, smash the like button. If you never want to hear my voice again, smash the like button. I'm doing the hair. Honestly, hair is my favorite thing to do. I love drawing hair. I just love hair. I just love drawing hair. I love making it look wild and seeing how far I can push it. And for her hair, I love how thick it is. I just like how the line in the middle makes the heart look voluptuous. I love that word, voluptuous. My coloring technique back in action. I'm making sure all of those points are filled in. So only a couple of these spots are going to be like black, like her eyes, and I think another detail, I'm forgetting what it was, but everything else is like a lighter shade of gray, but just dark enough to where it still looks like black. I think the colors that were on the original picture already did a good job. So, coloring everything in. The only problem here is that it all does kind of blend together at the end. I should have. I kind of wish that I outlined the wings with a letter base, but again, that's okay. The only one that's gonna notice is me. I still think you can see the details all right. Here I am experimenting. I wanted the eyes to glow. I just wanted to experiment with some different, what are they, fucking settings on Fire Alpaca, just to see what it would look like. And then I give the horns a bit of gradient, just because I wanted some flare at the top, just because I think that contrast looks okay. Then I used the colors that were on the reference sheet as the background, to give it a hellish background, and then Fire Alpaca actually comes with a fire brush that you can download for free, and I just used that because I didn't feel like drawing actual fire. And with all of that, she is finished. I really hope that you like her. Thank you again, JoJo Gamer, for making this character, providing her to me, and letting me draw her. On to the next. Alrighty, third up is by Dawnbreaker. 70540, and there's actually no R, so it's Dawnbreaky. That's okay. I'm just gonna call him Dawnbreaker, just because that sounds cooler. Thank you so much for providing this lumberjack character. I really like how I drew his hand. I think the hand looks great in this one, just because it shows just how big he really is in comparison to the axe. And the axe is not supposed to be a threatening tool, the axe is supposed to be a helping tool. And I loved the nose. He just looked so happy. This is a friendly dude. You want a hug from this guy. Another thing that I liked about this character was that it was challenging for me because I've never drawn a bushy beard. That's right. I'm not used to drawing bushy beards. Nor am I used to drawing like super big burly men. So this was a nice fun challenge for me, and also the nose is a bit different, different than my usual style. So it was really nice to give myself this little bit of challenge. I'm making sure that all the details are there. Again, I like these characters because they don't have too much detail. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for saving me a little bit of my sanity. Trust me, it's already gone by the point that I'm recording this, but there's just enough in me left to make coherent sentences, I'm hoping. When it comes to line art, you notice I start in way different areas. I normally start with the face first, and then I just move on to whatever I feel like. I have no consistency in where I start when it comes to line art. I just start doing it. I'm just like, okay, zoom in on a part, and then just fucking do it. Because I'm always scared. I'm like, it's gonna look like shit if I line art this. Like, this looks really good as a sketch. I don't want to run it with line art. You just gotta go. You just gotta go. I love this little hair tuft, by the way. I just wanted to point that out. And then I do a little squiggly for the hairline, just because, again, I'm not used to drawing like just normal hairlines. I'm used to no hairlines. That's not in my style most of the time. So he didn't have a mustache per se, so I didn't really give him a mustache-esque look. I just wanted it to be just a full curly beard look, like no real mustache qualities, like it all blends in. pocket. I pointed a little to the other side because I thought it looked a little strange. And then I'm fixing up the details, and then I look back and I realize that it was wrong, so I change it. It's circle of life, baby! I use the line tool that is provided with Fire Alpaca because I didn't feel like trying to draw a straight line over and over again for an hour. Again, use these tools. Do not be afraid to use these tools. That one I totally freehand straight lining those, you know. And I like how the axe turned out. I think he looks like he's holding it. I'm very happy with how that looks. It's not resting on his shoulder like a lot of the reference images that I saw, but I don't think it needs to. I think it shows off just how lightweight it feels in his hands. He's just like, it doesn't matter. I paused there for a minute because I'm just admiring the texture on the original photo. I love that texture. I don't know what it is, but it's super cute. It adds its own unique little character to it, and I just wanted to admire it for a minute. Adding the colors onto here, I like how he's a bit of a tan boy. He's been outside a lot, so his whole body's gonna be tan. I'm making sure I'm matching the colors as closely as possible, giving that axe that necessary shine, and then I'm using another Fire Alpaca tool for those straight lines, and then adjusting my brushes accordingly to try and simulate a plaid look. This is another thing I haven't done, which is draw plaid. I'm not good at drawing plaid. Most of the time I just look up on Google plaid design or like plaid pattern, and then I slap that bitch on there. I love these stark green eyes. Then I add that necessary eye shine, just to give the character the necessary life that it needs. Characters always need life, and I feel like that little eye shine is just enough touch to give it life. I took a pause there because I was eating a sandwich. Here's the final product. I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you again, Dawnbreaker, for making this character and having me draw them. On to the next. The fifth and final piece that I'm working on is by Brown Naman, and it's actually two characters that they provided. My boyfriend fell in love with this art style because it looks a lot like his own art style, and I was definitely in for a challenge. This is not enough detail for me to work with most of the time. But damn it, did I give it my best shot, and it actually was my boyfriend's favorite because I turned this flat color pencil drawing into two wonderful characters that Brown Naman is free to use any of the ideas that I provide for you. I have the reference photo on the bottom. I wanted them to be hugging each other. The idea that I had seeing these two together was that they are a circus duo. You know, that you have the super happy clown and the super grumpy clown, the super happy fat one, and then the super sad skinny one. A perfect duo, one of my favorite duo combos, like Bert and Ernie and things like that. That's what I was thinking of when making these two. What made this one challenging was that there was two. I was going to only do one character just because I was afraid of the bigger character, but I decided to challenge myself and make both of them together. I decided to give the robot clown a lanky, I wanted him to have lanky robot arms. I wanted to show off his robotness. He is a robot clown, and he has these comically long robot arms with the comic glove hands. I mean, what clown is complete without glove hands? Hello? I don't think I can express enough how much I loved how this turned out, and how how much of a creative challenge this was. This was the most challenging one for me out of the whole set. Like I know I said all of them are challenging, but they're all challenging in their own way. This one was way more of a challenge than I thought it would. It was a little bit intimidating at first. I honestly, when I was drawing this arm right here, I almost deleted all of it and started over, but I didn't. I persisted. I was like, I can do this. And then here I am deciding what to do with his second arm because he's so big. So I'm just having it like out there, just showing off this arm. You know what? He's showing off. He's like, hey buddy, look at the world. Look how happy everything is. Look at the bright side of life. Look at the glass half full. You know, and then there's that weird badge, I'm gonna say, and I added that as well. I'm moving on to the line art. And then I gave the eyebrows like a little mechanism that like helps raise and lower them. It's a small detail that I added, but I think it's necessary just to show that he is a robot, like another robot feature. I'm making his hair super curly. I wanted those curly cues in there. The curly cues are important. You cannot leave out the curly cues. And this character, I assumed, was a great horned owl. I love great horned owls. I love all owls in general. They're my favorite animal. I want the gloves to be that perfect round. I want that Mickey Mouse round glove pattern is what I want. Please do not copyright claim me because I said his name. I just love how big this guy is. Just got a goofy guy. And then I adjust the line art a little bit just so that it matches a little better. I didn't want the beak to be covered by the hair, so I moved it out of the way a little bit. I decided not to give that bottom piece. I left the bottom piece out because I thought it looked weird. And then I adjust the eyes a little more. Again, it just felt like it was kind of squished in there, and I didn't want it to be too squished in there. I cannot get over how much I love owls. Owl characters are so cute. I don't draw them enough. I'm not good at drawing them. I hope that looks like a bird to you. So I'm drawing the arms here. They're very noodly. Learning how to draw crossed arms with noodle arms was also a challenge, but I think it turned out pretty well. I think because they're so long and lanky that he can't properly cross them, and I think that just makes it look a little funnier. And you know, it's a performance act. They're supposed to be a funny performance act, and I feel like these little details definitely help enhance the haha hilarious. That's their job, is that they are a comedy duo. And that they're at their own circus and everything like that. I didn't know if this guy built this robot to help him with this comedy act because nobody else wanted to do a comedy act with him, and even the robot is sick of his shit, which I think is funny if you think about it. Also kind of sad. It's like, oh, I'd do a comedy duo with you, big guy. There I just had it on the wrong layer. I had to delete it all and redo it. I hate it. Always check your layers, people. Layers are important. I'm fixing up all the line work, making sure it's all nice and neat. Again, not many details on it, but it's just the premise and the character size difference that made it tricky. And then I'm adding the badge. I'm gonna assume that is the just like the circus logo. It's like the TED logo. On the reference paper, it looked like he had circles or like polka dots on his shirt before, but it looked like they got erased, so I did not add them. I added pointy eyes because I was ready, I was prepared for that. But then I looked at the reference photo of the great horned owl, and they actually have round eyes, and I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. Here I am adding those tedious lines, by the way. Tedious robot arm lines. Everyone knows what that's like when they draw robots. Shout out to all my FNAF artists that draw those every day, all the time. And how impossible it is to make sure that they're evenly spaced apart so it doesn't look weird. Here I am fixing his curly Q hair, just to make it all tied together. And fixing up the cheeks and the line art, making sure his nose is nice and round, fixing up the ears, and I think it's time for the coloring. I was checking the picture just to make sure that I had included all the details and that I wasn't missing anything. I couldn't really color pick off the piece of paper just because the colors looked really weird, so I just kind of took a guesstimate of what the colors looked like, and I just wanted the colors whatever looked good together. I chose this darker blue, and then I chose a darker red later, just as a contrast, because I don't want it to be too bright. And I think that it looked good on the gloves as well to give it that contrast. Honestly, he has that balloon boy dress up. What the fuck? I also made his teeth the metal color. I thought it was appropriate to make his teeth the metal endos on the inside. That's just a personal preference that I did. I made the nose and the cheeks not the same red as the hair and the paint, just enough to give it a contrast. And then here I am adding a shine on all those tedious fucking lines. Shout out to my FNAF artists that do that every single day, all the time. And here I am cleaning up all the details. I noticed all the little imperfections on the details. You probably don't even see what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. I'm looking back at this and it's like, oh yeah, that looks much better. And you're probably looking at it like, what the fuck did he even do? And then I added blue and red on the individual eyes just because the eye didn't really have color like the other guy did. So I decided to do a mismatch eye color. And then I kind of guessed with the brown. I didn't want it like a dark brown, I like the light brown. And then I gave him that same face paint color that his friend had. And then the eyes, I made the white part actually yellow because great horned owls have yellow on that part. And he has these beautiful teal eyes, by the way. Absolutely in love with the eye color. Here I am finalizing all the little details. I'm adding just a little bit of expression. And then I'm adding the background as a nice teal color. This duo is complete. And I want to give another shout out to Brown Naman. Thank you so much for sharing your characters with me, for being so brave into posting your art. It's fantastic. Gosh, this was fun. My hands hurt, I'm exhausted, it's 2 in the morning, I'm trying to get this out. But man, I had a fantastic time. I will be doing this again. After I'm done uploading this, I'm going to be choosing 5 more. No doubt. This was so much fun. I had such a great time. There were so many challenges that I had to go through that I had to push through in order to get these done. And I hope that everyone that I chose is satisfied, and I hope everyone that wasn't chosen doesn't give up on me, please. I love seeing everybody's creations, and trust me, I look at them all. And I can't wait to do more. Post your OC for me. Let me see your creativity. I love seeing the creativeness of everyone in this community, and I could not be more thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity. So long, farewell. I'll see you in part 2. Bye-bye.